Hello art friends! Today we're going to be traveling under the sea to create patterned sea turtles. We're going to be using a mixed media of art products. So let's find out which art supplies you need and let's get started. These are the supplies that you need in order to create your pattern sea turtle. You're going to need white paper, size 11 by 14 or larger, so that we can fit our sea turtle on the paper and all the other little things in the background. You need a pencil to do your sketching, a black Sharpie marker to do the outlining. The coloring options, you can use crayons, colored pencils, markers, even colored Sharpies, and if you want, you can use a combination of all of those things, which is what I'm going to do in mine. You need watercolor paint, and then an option is metallic markers. So these are some metallic markers from Crayola, but you can also use something like a silver Sharpie or a gold Sharpie, and that's just to add some little details into our background. So gather up all of your art supplies and let's get started. Our first step in creating our sea turtle is creating the turtle shell. So that's going to take up a lot of space on our paper and it's going to go in the center. But we are going to turn it slightly so that it looks like our sea turtle is swimming under the sea. So we're going to start with a curved line, a rainbow shape, and you're going to very lightly sketch that in the middle of your paper. So you can see when I create mine, I just kind of do a series of lines very, very lightly. And then I'm going to connect that underneath with a curved line. From there, I'm going to go in and create the turtle's head. So again, another curved line that's going to come over here. When I make my lines, I really don't worry about if they're exactly how I want them to be, because I know when I go back and I outline, I can always make adjustments. From there, we're going to create another curved line. This is the front part of the turtle's head. Almost looks like a little nose. And then we're going to create another curved line from there. So that's going to come under this way. And it's going to stop right about there. Our next part is creating a curve that comes from here and it just goes like that, because now we're going to go into the sea turtle's flipper. So after you make that curved line, you're going to come down this is his front flipper, and you're going to curve it here. It's going to go up and reach the shell. Our next flipper that we're going to create is on the other side. So that's going to start here, and that's going to go up. And then come back down. Now we're ready to add the back flipper. We're going to start over here, and on the shape on this one is sort of like a tree trunk shape, and then it has two curved lines at the bottom. So you're going to bring your pencil down, so a curved line here, and a curved line here, and then we're going to do what's kind of like a double rainbow. So it's a curved line this way, curved line over here. So there's our flipper on that side. And then we're going to do a tiny one over here, because when we look at the sea turtle from this angle, we're not going to see everything in the right proportion. So we're going to draw this one a little bit smaller. So this is going to come out over here, curve line, and then another curve line over here. And again, the double rainbow at the bottom. So curve line, and then another curve line. The next step is creating the eye for our sea turtle. And our sea turtle is going to have more of a comical cartoon style eye. And we're only seeing the sea turtle from the side, so we're only going to put one eye in. So we're going to start here. And you're going to do a curved line. Lots of curved lines in this project. And then on top of it, it's like a big, narrow rainbow. Inside of there, you're going to do another one of those. Another little rainbow shape. And inside of there, you're going to color in a little black oval. Now, a fun little option that you can add is a little reflection circle. So if you want to do that, you would just erase a tiny little bit of your pencil line there. And now you go in and just add a little circle. That's going to stay white when we get to the coloring, and it gives it the illusion that it's like a little reflection. Okay, from there we're going to go in and add the smile. So the smile comes from over here. Of course, a curved line that goes up. And on the end of that, we're just going to do another curve. So the next part is creating lines inside of our sea turtle shell so that we can add some of this fun little pattern and designs in there. So at the top, we're going to do a half circle. And these little lines that we're drawing are going to provide the opportunity for you to go in and add all of your patterns. Then around that, we're going to do a wavy line. So we're going to start here, and we're just going to do a little wavy line. Leave a little bit of space. And then just do another one. Now you're going to bring your pencil down to the bottom, and we're just going to follow that same shape of the bottom part of the turtle shell. We're just going to do another line that runs parallel to that all the way across. And now we're going to add 3 lines that go down to divide this into 4 different sections. So we're going to start with the middle line first. That one's going to come straight down. The line that we draw on this side is going to curve a little bit. So it gives this illusion of our turtle shell being rounded. And then on this side, a curved line this way. So before we do our pattern inside the sea turtle shell, we're going to make the lines in the background that make it look like it's the waves of the ocean. So you're going to bring your pencil up to the top, and we're just going to create some wavy lines that go across the paper. Remember, anytime as you're going across that you hit into the sea turtle, just jump over and keep going. So we're going to start here. Okay, if you hit into the sea turtle, jump over and keep going all the way to the end. So there's line number 1. You can move your pencil down a little bit and go across, jump over and keep going. Line number 3 is going to come down here Bring that wavy line across, jump over, keep going. And then the last one is going to come down here. So you have 4 different lines for your background. Our next part is adding pattern into our sea turtle shell. And pattern is whenever you repeat a line, shape, or color. Pattern decorates a surface, just like some of the examples you see here. And we're going to add some pattern into our turtle shell just to add some design and color. So when you start up at the top, you can choose anything you want. Think of simple things. So I think inside of this little curved part, I'm just going to make some more lines, more of those curvy lines. And when I get to the coloring, I can just make them different colors to create the pattern. Okay, in this section, I think I'm just going to add some lines. I'm just going to repeat some of these straight lines. And again, once it's outlined and I color it in, I can add some fun colors to create pattern. Down in this little wavy section, I'm just going to add some circles like polka dots. And just think about very simple shapes or lines that you can add to create some interesting pattern. In this first little section, I think I'm going to add some zigzag lines. Maybe I'll leave a little space, do another one, and add another one there. In this section, I think I'm going to add some hearts. So just really simple shapes, simple lines that you can use to create pattern. They don't have to be the same ones I'm using. In this section, I think I'm just going to make some wavy lines that come this way. And in my last section, I think I'm going to make some diamond shapes. You could even make something like a simple little flower or circles. I'm going to add another one up at the top. And then the last section is down here. And I think in this section, I'm just going to add some lines just to create kind of like squares that I can color in with different colors. Now the pattern on our sea turtle is complete and we're ready for the next step. Now that all of our sketching is complete, the next part is outlining all of our pencil lines with black Sharpie. So you're going to make sure that you go over all of your pencil lines with the black Sharpie marker. And just take your time because there's a lot of pencil to cover. Just carefully go over all your pencil lines. Don't forget, you're also going to outline the pattern on the inside as well. Just want to show you for the eye, the only part that really gets colored in with the black Sharpie marker is that little black pupil on the inside. Everything else is just an outline. So take your time going around covering all of your pencil with your black Sharpie, and then we're going to move on to coloring. Before we move on to coloring, make sure that you've erased all of your pencil lines and your work is neat. So for this part, for the coloring, remember you can use any coloring option that you have. crayons, markers, colored Sharpies, colored pencils. You can even use a combination of all of those things. For this part though, we're only coloring the pattern on the turtle and the turtle's eye and the turtle's cheek. We're not painting the background and we're not painting the other parts of the turtle because we're going to be using watercolor paint for those areas. So remember, it's just the pattern on the turtle's shell, his eye, and if you want to add a little crayon coloring over by the cheek, you can. So to get started, I'm actually going to start there. This part is black already, so we're coloring the inside part right here, and that can be any color that you want it to be. That little white circle stays white because that's our reflection. And then if you want to go in and you want to add a little coloring onto the cheek, you can do that with a colored pencil or a crayon, even a marker. And you can just add a little color in that section. So remember, we're trying to achieve pattern in our sea turtle shell. So not only have you created pattern using different lines and different shapes, but you're going to want to continue that with your colors. So what I do is before I color each section is I kind of plan out the colors and put them off to the side. So I'm going to do Sharpie marker and crayon, a lime green, a bright pink, and a magenta, and I'm going to fill in that section. So I'm going to start with the top. And my first zigzag stripe is going to be this magenta, or bright pink, I should say. So the first color gets colored all the way over to the other side. And you have your black lines that are your guidelines, knowing where to stay in that section and not go over it. Okay, so for the next stripe, I'm going to do this lime green color. And just carefully and neatly color it in. You've done a great job designing your sea turtle and creating pattern, and you want to take your time coloring it to show all those amazing designs that you created. Okay, now my next stripe is going to be the crayon color, the magenta. And I really like the way that the crayons and the markers look together. It adds a lot of interest into the pattern. And it's fun using different materials. So now I'm finishing up my third color, and now I'm going to go back to the first color. So back to the hot pink. Follow that all the way over. And then of course, I'm going to go back to the green. So this section is going to be my last one, and I'm repeating that lime green color. Colored Sharpies are nice to color with because the color doesn't smear, which is really nice. Sometimes they leak through the paper, so you have to be careful, but they do have a lot of nice colors to choose from, and they don't smear, which is really nice. So you're going to continue coloring your pattern on your sea turtle shell and also the eye and the cheek, and then we're going to move on to the next part. So now that our coloring is complete, the next part is using watercolor paint for our turtle, his flippers and his back flippers. So to get started, choose a color green that you have. I'm going to use this one. And you're just going to paint very carefully around your sea turtle's head. And you can go right over the Sharpie line of the mouth. Watercolor paint is fun to use, but it is a little tricky. And you have to just be careful that you don't put too much water. And then it starts to run, or we call it bleeding, outside the line. So, you know, usually take a little bit and I kind of spread it out on there. Go back in, go a little bit more. And you can just take from what you're doing up in the turtle's head and extend it down into that front flipper. Just carefully stay in the lines. Little trick with painting is if you get your paintbrush right up to the line and you just pull it, you'll create a nice clean edge there. I'm going to show you how to add a little bit of dimension onto the sea turtle's head and flipper using another color green. So if you have a darker green or even like a bluish green color in your set, you can use that. Dip in. And we're just going to drag that along the outer edge of the turtle's head. So just kind of come around. Just going to blend that in a little bit there, just to give it a little bit of dimension, getting that value on there so that one side is a little bit darker. So just in that section, and then I'm going to go in. I'm just going to do it on this side of the flipper. I'm going to come down. And just add over there. And I just kind of take my brush and just blend it in. You can even take that same paint color and very carefully and very slowly kind of highlight the turtle's mouth. Just kind of drag it right underneath the Sharpie line there. And even come around where it curves up. So once you get done painting that, you can go back in, paint your other flipper. So return back to that first green color that you used. And again, just stay in the lines, paint slowly. Clean my brush. I'm going to do that little darker color. And I'm just going to do it over on this side. Clean my brush again. Go back to the original green color. I'm going to paint his back flippers. A little bit of the darker green. I'm going to put it on this side. Clean my brush. I'm going back to the original green color and I'm going to do the last flipper. And now I'm going to add a little bit of that dark green over on this side. So you finish up painting the turtle's head and his flippers, and then we're going to move on to the background. So the last part to painting is the background, and we're trying to make the background look like water and ocean waves. So for that, we're going to look at the color chart and decide on which cool colors we're going to use. We don't want to use the greens because they are going to blend in with our turtle. So I would suggest using any blue colors that you have, even purple. You can even extend it up to a magenta color because technically red, violet, magenta has red, which is a warm color. It also has purple or violet, which is a cool color, and I sometimes include it when I use cool colors. So you have 5 different sections in your background, and I would choose 5 different colors to use there, or you can use 2 colors and just repeat them. So to get started, I'm going to start with this blue color. And if you have a bigger brush that you can use, you're painting a bigger area, you can definitely use that in your background. And you're just going to paint across your paper with that watercolor paint. So you're going to take that one color and use that one color and paint it all the way across. Remember, when you want to create that straight edge, just kind of drag your brush. And you're going to continue that color all the way across. Okay, so I have my first wavy line painted in, and now what I'm going to do is clean my brush. And for my second one, I'm going to choose, I believe, this purple color. So same thing. I'm just going to continue that same color all the way across. Just be very careful when you have to go around your sea turtle. Just take your time and just carefully stay away from the green so that you don't get any colors mixing in with that. So you're going to take your time and you're going to paint all of your wavy lines in the background. Remember, you can choose 5 different cool colors, or if you only want to choose 2 and repeat them, that's up to you. But the goal is to completely cover the background with those cool colors to look like ocean water. So finish painting and then I will check back with you. So when your painting is dry, the last part of this project is adding some decorative metallic marker lines to the background to add some detail enhancement. So these are just some of the lines that you can create, little bubbles and swirls, wavy lines and squiggly lines, and we're just going to add those into each section of our background that you painted. If you have metallic markers like these, they'll work perfectly and go right on top of the paint, or even if you have a silver Sharpie or a gold Sharpie, that will work as well. So to get started, I'm going to take my silver metallic marker and I'm going to just do some of these little wavy lines. And I'm going to continue them all the way across. And for the next section, I'm going to switch my color. I'm going to use a gold. And I'm just going to add some swirls. You can see how cool those metallic markers look on top of the background. The lines also provide some movement, and it makes it appear like the water is moving or that our sea turtle is gliding through the water. For the next section, I'm going to use this blue metallic marker. And in this section, I'm going to make bubbles. So I'm going to make some circles and just make different sizes. Just fill up that area. And just carefully go around each of your sections. And it's probably best to continue with the same design all the way across. There's a lot going on with this artwork with patterns and colors, and sometimes it can be too confusing if we do too many designs. So if you have the metallic markers, use this opportunity to include all those details in the background, and then I will check back with you. Our patterned sea turtles look stunning, and I really love the enhancement of the metallic marker. I hope you had fun today traveling under the sea to create your sea turtle. Until next time, keep smiling, keep dreaming, and keep creating.